Without exception, jealousy or drugs. The hitting, the things we are going to take responsibility for. It is typically because of jealousy or drug use. The role of jealousy here is critical and it's pervasive. The evidence will show you that over the course of the 20 years we will examine in this courtroom, we'll see the same women over and over. They remained in multi-year relationships with him, and I believe that you'll pretty much know about every relationship he's had over the past 20 years. Again, that's whether this is an employee or a girlfriend. You will pretty much know about every girlfriend he has had. You will see that these women are strong, capable, and they were in love with him. You will see that breaches of trust, infidelity, and jealousy are what drove the domestic violence you will hear about. You will see that alcohol and drugs played a major role in his temper. The evidence is going to show you a very flawed individual, but it will not show you a racketeer, a sex trafficker, or somebody transporting for prostitution. So as we said, you're going to hear from two women, Cassie and Jane. This case is, in large part, about his sexual relationships with these two women. And you're going to hear that they went to private hotel rooms to engage in what I expect some witnesses at this case to call the swingers lifestyle, which is essentially just a fancier terminology for threesomes by adults. Sometimes Combs partook in the sex with his girlfriend and the male escort, and other times he watched while the male escort was having sex with his girlfriend. You heard the government call these freak-offs. I expect you will hear that. I expect you will also hear them called parties and entertainment. You will hear from both Cassie and Jane about these nights. They will testify about their relationships, and you will hear things that should never be heard in a federal courtroom. I think you've heard that already. You've heard things that may make you feel uncomfortable at first, that he liked to watch this. You might hear about his kinky sex or his preferences for sex that may make you uncomfortable and may not be what you like to do in your bedroom. But you are not here to judge him for his sexual preferences. You are not here to judge him for all purposes. You are here to evaluate whether the government can prove beyond a reasonable doubt what they actually charged him with. They cannot. You've also heard that in his relationships with both Cassie and Jane, he bought them things. Yes, like every relationship, they got things from their boyfriend. Here, a wealthy rapper paid for their housing. He paid for Cassie's car and he gave them money. These are nice houses that he paid for. It was a nice car that Cassie drove. And they were nice vacations on private planes because he is a wealthy individual. These were vacations that they took together as couples. And as I've said, like in every relationship, there was jealousy and there were flaws. But as you evaluate the evidence in this case, remember that he is not charged with being a flawed individual or having a flawed relationship. They did not stay with him over and over again because of force, fraud, or coercion. The evidence in this case will show you that over and over again, day after day, these women fought to be in a relationship, fought to do what they wanted to do in consensual adult relationships. This case started with Cassie, so I think it's best for me to start there. I expect you will hear from her this week. She will sit in this witness box and she will tell you about her 11-year relationship with Sean Combs. You heard that they met when she was an up-and-coming artist. What you didn't hear is that she had a boyfriend at the time, and he was in a very public relationship with the mother of 4 of his children named Kim Porter. After the two fell in love and started dating, she broke up with her producer boyfriend, but Combs, for his part, did not break up with Kim. He remained in a public relationship with her, and that is something that caused extreme jealousy with Cassie. He continued that relationship with Kim Porter until her tragic, untimely death from pneumonia in 2018. This is important because as you look at the evidence and as you evaluate Cassie and Combs' relationship, you will see that their fights, their cheating, their jealousy is typically surrounded his cheating or it surrounded hers. This is something that plagued their relationship until the very last day. The evidence will show you that he was extremely jealous of Cassie's actual or perceived infidelities, and she was uncontrollably jealous of his. This led to a toxic relationship between two people that I expect the evidence will show deeply, deeply loved each other. Perhaps they did not always show love to one another the way you would with your partner, but they were in a relationship and she was not being trafficked. You will see that over and over again in this decade-long relationship, These two fought about his inability to remain faithful. I expect Cassie to tell you about the jealousy of Kim Porter and another girlfriend that he started dating in 2014 named Gina. This jealousy is something that plagued their relationship, even the day of the Intercontinental video in the elevator bank that much of you told us during jury selection that you saw. That day, unfortunately, jealousy was on full display, and in combination with the bad drugs that I expect Cassie to testify that Combs took, it led to domestic violence in the elevator bank. This assault happened almost 10 years ago, on March 5th of 2016. I expect that we are going to see this video many, many times throughout this trial. You are going to see it later today, and I expect you to see it many more times throughout this week. You're going to see it a lot, but I want to start by saying two things. First, what Combs did to Cassie on this videotape is indefensible. It is horrible. It's dehumanizing. It's violent. It's virtually every bad word you can think of. And while it's dehumanizing and violent and terrible, the second most important thing is that it is not evidence of sex trafficking. It is evidence of domestic violence.
Silence it,
you
or
will
it will be
see
taken.
that it is also evidence of the central theme in this case, which is
a
jealousy.
complicated man.
As you watch it later today, and as you watch it throughout the week, I want you to look for two things. The first part is Cassie walking out of the hotel room, walking down the hallway. She's carrying two bags, and you see that she makes it to the elevator. And then Combs comes down wearing only a towel. He pulls Cassie by the hoodie, and she falls to the floor. He kicks her in the backside, and he stomps on the back of her leg, and he starts to drag her by her hoodie back to the hotel room. You will see him walk away momentarily with her bags, and you will see this. Then he comes back around and walks toward her, and she is kind of in the left part of this screen. When he comes toward her, he has nothing in his hand, and when he walks away from her, you will see an illuminated phone in his hand. He wanted this phone, and he got it. Please understand that this video is overwhelming evidence of domestic violence, but it's overwhelming evidence that this domestic violence is over a phone and not because of sex trafficking.